Thyself thou gavest, thy own worth then not knowing, or me to whom thou gavest it else mistaking. So thy great gift, upon misprision growing, comes home again, on better judgment making. Thus have I had thee, as a dream doth flatter, in sleep a king, but waking no such matter. 88. When thou shalt be disposed to set me light, and place my merit in the eye of scorn, upon thy side against myself I'll fight, and prove thee virtuous, though thou art forsworn. With mine own weakness, being best acquainted, upon thy part I can set down a story of faults concealed, wherein I am attainted, that thou in losing me shall win much glory. And I by this will be a gainer too, for bending all my loving thoughts on thee, the injuries that to myself I do, doing thee vantage, double vantage me. Such is my love, to thee I so belong, that for thy right myself will bear all wrong. 89. Say that thou didst forsake me for some fault, and I will comment upon that offence. Speak of my lameness, and I straight will halt against thy reasons, making no defence. Thou canst not, love, disgrace me half so ill, to set a form upon desired change, as I'll myself disgrace, knowing thy will, I will acquaintance strangle, and look strange. Be absent from thy walks, and in my tongue thy sweet beloved name no more shall dwell, lest I, too much profane, should do it wrong, and haply of our own acquaintance tell. For thee, against myself
Nobody
I'll
knows
vow debate,
Dominaria's shadows.
for I must now love him, whom thou dost hate.
Haven't you ever heard of personal
90.
space?
Then hate me when thou wilt, if ever, now.
It's no fun
now,
when they hit back.
while the world is bent my deeds to cross, join with the spite of fortune, make me bound, and do not drop in for an after loss. Ah, do not, when my heart hath scaped this sorrow, come in the rearward of a conquered woe. Give not a windy night a rainy morrow, to linger out to purpose no. If thou wilt leave me, do not leave me last, when other petty griefs have done their spite. But in the onset come, so shall I taste at first the very worst of fortune's might. And other strains of woe, which now seem, compared with loss of thee, will not seem so. End of Sonnets 81 to 90 of Shakespeare's Sonnets. Sonnets 91 to 100 of Shakespeare's Sonnets. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information, please visit LibriVox.org. This recording by Chris Hughes, media.blogspot.com.
Show 'em what you
Shakespeare's
got.
Sonnets by William Shakespeare. Sonnets 91. Some glory in their birth, some in their skill, some in their wealth, some in their bodies' force, some in their garments, some in their hawks and hounds, some in their horse. But every humour hath his adjunct pleasure, wherein finds a joy above the rest.
The system
But
can't
these
fix
particulars
everything,
are not my
but we
measure.
can.
All these I better in one general best. Thy love is better than high birth to me, richer than wealth, prouder than garments' costs, of more
This is
delight
your
than hawks and horses be,
Win it.
and having thee, of all men's pride, I boast. Wretched in this alone, that thou mayst take all this away, and me most wretched make. 92. But do thy worst to steal myself away, for torment life thou art assured, and life no longer than thy love will stay, for it depends upon that love of thine. Then need I not to fear the worst of wrongs, when in the least of them my life hath end. I see a better state to me belongs than that which on thy humour doth depend. Thou canst not vex me with inconstant mind, since that my life on thy revolt doth lie. Oh, what a happy title do I find, happy to have thy love, happy to die. But what's so blessed fair that fears no limit? Thou mayst be false, and yet I know it not. 93. So shall I live, supposing thou art true, like a deceived husband, so love's face may still seem love to me, though altered new, thy looks with me, thy heart in other place. For there can live no hatred in thine eye, therefore to that I cannot know thy change. In many's looks, the false heart's history is written in wounds and frowns and
There's no
wrinkles strange.
secret I can't uncover.
But heaven in thy creation did decree that in thy face sweet love should ever dwell.
I know there's a hero
Whate'er thy
inside you.
thoughts or thy heart's workings be, thy looks should nothing vex, but sweetness tell. How like Eve's apple doth thy beauty grow, if thy sweet virtue grants not thy show. 94. They that have power to hurt, and will do none, that do not do the thing they most do show, who, moving others, are themselves as stone, unmoving, cold, and to temptation slow. They rightly do inherit heaven's graces, and husband nature's riches from expense. They are the lords and owners of their faces, others envious of their excellence. The summer's flower is to the summer sweet, though to itself it only live and die. But if that flower with base infection meet, the basest weed outbraves his dignity. For sweetest things turn sour by their deeds. Lilies that fester smell far worse than weeds. 95. How sweet and lovely dost thou make the shame, which, like a canker in the fragrant rose, doth spot the beauty of thy budding name. Oh, in what sweets dost thou thy sins enclose? That tongue that tells the story of thy days,
I'll be your
making
shield.
lascivious comments on thy sport, cannot dispraise, but in a kind of praise, naming thy name, blesses an ill report. Oh, what a mansion have those voices got, which for their habitation chose out thee, where beauty's veil doth cover every blot, and all things turn to fair that eyes can see. Take heed, dear heart, of this large privilege. The hardest man doth lose his edge. 96. Some say thy fault is youth, some wantonness. Some say thy grace is youth and gentle sport. Both grace and faults are loved of more and less. Thou makest false graces that to thee resort. As on the finger of a throned
I've got
queen,
all
the
kinds
basest
of
jewel
connections.
will be well esteemed. So are those errors that in thee are seen, to truths translated, and for true things deemed. How many lambs might the stern wolf betray, if like a lamb would his looks translate? How many gazers mightst thou lead away, if thou wouldst use the strength of all thy sight? But do not so. I love thee in such sort, as, thou being mine is thy good report. 97. How like a winter hath my absence been from thee, the pleasure of the fleeting year. What freezings have I felt, what dark days seen, what old dissembled bareness everywhere. And yet this time removed was summer's time, the teeming autumn big with rich increase, bearing the wanton burden of the prime, like widowed wombs after their lord's decease. Yet this abundant issue seemed to me but hope of orphans and unfathered fruit, for summer and his pleasures wait on thee, and thou away, the very birds are mute. Or if they sing, 'tis with so dull a cheer, that leaves look pale, dreading the winter's near. 98. From you have I been absent in the spring, when proud-pied April, dressed in all his trim, hath put a spirit of youth in everything, that heavy Saturn laughed and leaped with him. Yet nor the lays of birds, nor the sweet smell of different flowers in odour and in hue, could make me any summer's story tell, or from their proud lap pluck them where they grew. Nor did I wonder at the lilies white, nor praise the deep vermilion in the rose. They were but sweet, but figures of delight, drawn after you. You pass
I'll
of
be
all
taking
those.
that now.
Yet seemed it winter still, and you away, as with your shadow I with these did play. 99. The forward violet thus did I chide. Sweet thief, whence didst thou steal thy sweet that smells, if not from my love's breath? The purple pride which on thy soft cheek for complexion dwells, in my love's veins thou hast too grossly dyed. The lily I condemn,
Show 'em what you've got.
and buds of marjoram that stole my hair. The roses fib, thorns did snap, one blushing shame, another quite despair. The third, nor red nor white, had stolen both, and to his robbery had annexed thy breath. But for his theft in pride of all his growth, a vengeful canker ate him up to death. More flowers I noted, yet I none could see but sweet or colour it had stolen from thee. 100. Where art thou, Muse, that thou forgett'st so long to speak of that which gives thee all thy might? Spend'st thou thy fury on some worthless song, darkening thy power to lend base to its light? Return, forgetful Muse, and straight redeem in gentle numbers time so idly spent. Sing to the ear that doth thy ways esteem, and gives thy pen both skill and argument. Rise, resty Muse, my love's sweet face survey. If time have any wrinkle graven there, if any be a satire to decay, and make time's spoils despise everywhere. Give my love fame faster than time wastes life, so thou preventst his scythe and crooked knife. End of Sonnets 91 to 100 of Shakespeare's Sonnets. Sonnets 101 to 110 of Shakespeare's Sonnets. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Chris Hughes, readear.blogspot.com. Shakespeare's Sonnets by William Shakespeare. Sonnets
Now
101
this
to
is a juicy
110.
secret.
101. O truant Muse, what shall be thy amends for thy neglect of truth in beauty dyed? Both truth and beauty on my love depends, so dost thou too, and therein dignified. Make answer, Muse, wilt thou not haply say, truth needs no colour with his colour fixed, beauty no pencil, beauty's
I know
truth
there's
to
a
lay,
hero
but
inside
best
you.
is best, if never intermixed. Because he needs no praise, wilt thou be dumb? Excuse not silence so, for it lies in thee to make him much outlive a gilded tomb, and to be praised of ages yet to be. Then do thy office, Muse, I teach thee how to make him seem long hence, as he shows now. 102. My love is strengthened, though more weak in seeming. I love not less, though less the show appear. That love is merchandised, whose rich esteeming the owner's tongue doth publish everywhere. Our love was new, and then but in the spring, when I was wont to greet it with my lays, as Philomel in summer's front doth sing, and stops her pipe in growth of riper days. Not that the summer is less pleasant now than when her mournful hymns did hush the night, but that wild music burthens every bough, and sweets grown common lose their dear delight. Therefore, like her, I sometime hold my tongue, because I would not dull you with my song. 103. Alack, What poverty my muse brings forth, that having such a scope to show her pride, the argument all bare is of more worth than when it hath my added praise beside. Oh, blame me not, if I no more can write. Look in your glass, and there appears a face that overgoes my blunt invention quite, dulling my lines, and doing me disgrace. Were it not sinful then, striving to mend, to mar the subject that before was well? For to no other pass my verses tend, than of your graces and your gifts do tend. And more, much more than in my verse can sit, your own glass shows you when you look in it. 104. To me, fair friend, you never can be old. For as you were when first your eye I eyed, such seems your beauty still. 3 winters cold have from the forests shook 3 summers' pride. 3 beauteous springs to yellow autumn turned, in process of the seasons have I seen. 3 April perfumes in 3 hot Junes burned, since first I saw you fresh, which yet are green. Ah, yet doth beauty like a dial hand steal from his figure, and no pace perceived. So your sweet hue, which methinks still doth stand, hath motion, and my eye may be deceived. For fear of which, hear this, thou age unbred, ere you were born was beauty's summer dead. 105. Let not my love be called idolatry, nor my beloved as an idol show, since all alike my songs and praises be to one of one, still such and ever so. Kind is my love today, tomorrow kind, still constant in a wondrous excellence. Therefore my verse to constancy confined, one thing expressing, leaves out difference. Fair, kind, and true is all my argument, fair, kind, and true, varying to other words. And in this change is my invention spent, 3 themes in one, which wondrous scope affords. Fair, kind, and true have often lived alone, which 3 till now never kept seat in one. 106. When, in the chronicle of wasted time, I see descriptions of the fairest wights, and beauty making beautiful old rhyme in praise of ladies dead and lovely knights, then, in the blazons of best of hand, of foot, of lip, of eye, of brow, I see their antique pen would have expressed even such a beauty as you master now. So all their praises are but prophecies of this our time, all you prefiguring, and for they looked but with divining eyes, they had not skill enough your worth to see. For we, which now behold these present days, have eyes to wonder, but lack tongues to praise. 107. Not mine own fears, nor the prophetic soul of the wide world, dreaming on things to come, can yet the lease of my true love control, supposed as forfeit to a confining doom. The mortal moon hath her eclipse endured, and the sad augurs mock their own presage. Incertainties now crown themselves assured, and peace proclaims olives of endless age. Now, with the drops of this most balmy time, my love looks fresh, and death to me subscribes, since, spite of him, I'll live in this poor rhyme, while he insults o'er dull and speechless tribes. And thou, in this, shalt find thy monument, when tyrants' crests and tombs of brass are spent. 108. What's in the brain, that angel character, which hath not figured to thee my true spirit? What's new to speak? What now to register that may express my love, or thy dear merit? Nothing, sweet. But yet, like prayers divine, I must each day say o'er the very same, counting no old thing old, thou mine, I thine, even as when first I hallowed thy fair name.
I'll be taking
So that
now.
eternal love in love's fresh case weighs not the dust and injury of age, nor gives to necessary wrinkles place, but makes antiquity for aye his page. finding the first conceit of love there bred, where time and outward form would show it dead. 109. Oh, never say that I was false of heart, though absence seemed my flame to qualify. As easy might I from myself depart as from my soul, which in thy breast doth lie. That is my home of love. If I have ranged like him that travels, I return again, just to the time, not with the time exchanged, so that myself bring water for my stay.
This is your
Never
fight.
believe, though in my
Win
nature
it.
reigned all frailties that besiege all kinds of blood, that it could so preposterously be stained to leave for nothing all thy sum of good. For nothing this wide universe I call, save thou, my rose, in it thou art my all. 110. Alas, it is true, I have gone here and there, and made myself a motley to the view, gored mine own thoughts, sold cheap what is most dear, made old offences of affections new. Most true it is, that I have not gone true, askance, straight, but by all above these blenches give my heart another youth, and worse essays prove thee my best of love. Now all is done, save what shall have no end. Mine appetite I never more will grind, on newer proof, to try an older friend, a god in love, to whom I am confined. Then give me welcome, next my heaven the best, even to thy pure and most loving breast. End of Sonnets 101 to 110 of Shakespeare's Sonnets. Sonnets 111 to 120 of Shakespeare's Sonnets. This is a LibriVox recording. LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Chris Hughes, readhere.blogspot.com. Shakespeare's Sonnets by William Shakespeare, Sonnets 111 to 120. 111. Oh, for my sake, do you with fortune chide the guilty goddess of my harmful deeds, that did not better for my life provide than public means which public manners breeds. Thence comes it that my name receives a brand, and almost thence my nature is subdued to what it works in, like the dyer's hand. Pity me then, and wish I were renewed. Whilst, like a willing patient, I will drink potions of Isaac against my strong infection. No bitterness that I will bitter think, nor double penance to correct correction. Pity me then, dear friend, and I assure ye, even that your pity is enough to cure me. 112. Your love and pity doth the impression fill, which vulgar scandal stamped upon my brow. For what care I for all be well or ill, so you will read my bad, my good allow. You are my all the world, and I must strive to have my shames and praises from your tongue. None else to me, nor I to none alive, that my steeled sense or changes right or wrong. In so profound abysm I throw all care of others' voices, that my adder's sense to critic and to flatterer stopped are. Mark how with my neglect I do dispense. You are so strongly in my purpose bred, that all the world besides methinks are dead. 113. Since I left you, mine eye is in my mind, and that which governs me to go about doth part his function and is partly blind, seems seeing, but effectually is out. For it no form delivers to the heart of bird, of flower or shape which it doth latch. Of his quick objects hath the mind no part, nor his own vision holds what it doth catch. For if it see the rudest or gentlest sight, the most sweet favour, or deformedest creature, the mountain or the sea, the day or night, the crow or dove, it shapes them to your feature. Incapable of more, replete with you, my most true mind thus maketh mine untrue. 114. Or whether doth my mind, being crowned with you, drink up the monotonous plague, this flattery? Or whether shall I say mine eye saith true, and that your love taught it this alchemy, to make of monsters and things indigest such cherubins as your sweet self resemble, creating every bad a perfect best, as fast as objects to his beams assemble? Oh, 'tis the first, 'tis flattery in my seeing, and my great mind most kingly drinks it up. Mine eye well knows what with his gust is green, and to his palate doth prepare the cup. If it be poisoned, 'tis the lesser sin, that mine eye loves it, and doth first begin. 115. Those lines that I before have writ do lie, even those that said I could not love you dearer. Yet then my judgment knew no reason why my most full flame should afterwards burn clearer. But reckoning time, whose millioned accidents twixt vows and changed the ways of kings, tan sacred beauty, blunt the sharpest intents, divert strong minds to the course of altering things. Alas, why fearing of time's tyranny might I not then say, now I love you best, when I was certain were uncertainty, crowning the present, doubting of the rest. Love is a babe. Then might I not say so, to give full growth to that which still doth grow. 116. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark, looks on tempests and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. Love's not time's form, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out, even to the edge of doom. If this be error, and upon me proved, I never